So I see this headline. It's actually from yesterday, or maybe even the day before. Moody's warns California municipalities may see massive increase in bankruptcies. That's funny because I just did a video about a week and a half ago or so telling you how California itself is compared to the United States. It's the richest state in our whole country, yet it's the most indebted state in our country. And our country is the most indebted country in the world, right? Like father like son, or like mother like daughter, if you will. Yet we've had this great lifestyle. It's all fantastic, American dream. We'll get through this. We'll get through this. As I said, yeah, we're going to get through it. There's no question we'll get through it. Some of us, you know, just like during any of the world wars, you know, World War I, World War II, whether it was Vietnam or something else, we'll get through it, man. Come on, let's keep fighting. We'll get through it. Survive another day. You know, how many people did you know in that war? Oh, you know, 100. How many of them came back? Oh, about 20. He could rightfully say we got through it. He's still here to say it. The other 80, well, they didn't quite get through it. But the troops, you know, generally speaking, the war is over. You know, let's say Vietnam, it's over. So he was right. They got through it. Well, if that's what you mean by we'll get through it, then I guess, you know, that's true. That's not my idea of we'll get through something. You know, usually what that means is we'll all get through this. It may hurt a little bit, maybe a little rough, but we'll all get through it. Maybe a tiny percent won't. Well, again, now Moody's is saying that, you know, get ready for massive bankruptcies from municipalities. Even though Moody's several years ago, you know, credit rating agency, was first in line to give all these municipal bonds and all this crap prestigious AAA ratings. These bonds are basically the status we are giving these bonds are virtually as if God created them himself, and God standing behind it with his, you know, line of credit, so to speak. I mean, God, he can make money out of thin air, for God's sake. So now all of a sudden Moody's, yeah, in the article, we're gonna have to maybe rethink and relook some of our practices and our, you know, the way we've rated things in the past, you know, how we came to that conclusion. Well, it's obvious how you came to the conclusion. If you don't give AAA ratings, the banking system is going to end up having your company dismantled. Rating agencies, you know, will have the rating agencies dismantled, so to speak. You're not going to be a rating agency. Therefore, it is in your best interest to make sure all piece of garbage, bonds, paper, assets, the whole 9 yards is rated as a, you know, pile of gold, just beautiful. When in reality it's not, because nothing changed from right now than several years ago, other than now we're facing the consequences. So you would already know back then, as Moody's or any other rating agency, that the stuff you are rating, just prime time, AAA, etc., beautiful stuff, was garbage then, but you really had to rate it as if it wasn't, because you knew if you didn't, you would not be in business. It's an old saying I've used from time to time. I wish I remember who this came from. It is hard for a man to tell the truth when his job, and keeping his job, depends upon him not telling the truth. Man, that's a fantastic little phrase right there, isn't it? So, speaking on all this nonsense, you know, everybody was optimistic and it's AAA ratings, and let's talk for a second about people who are optimistic, hopeful, etc. And let me start that conversation by saying, you know, if you think for 1 second that I'm going to enjoy, or even right now somehow I enjoy what we're seeing slowly being destroyed around us, our American lifestyle, the American dream, etc. If you really think that I enjoy, or will in the future enjoy, what's left of it, you know, which is garbage, you got nothing coming. I don't, you know, I don't want these things to happen, you know, to be honest with you. I don't want to have people, including myself, of course, to deal with these things. However, I also know that it's a cycle, and a cycle doesn't care what you and I think or how we feel. It's coming whether we want to or not. So if you know the cycle's coming, how do you best prepare for something? Well, you prepare in advance. Again, gold and silver, etc. That will save you. Matter of fact, that's really the only thing that's going to save you from financial ruin. So I'm watching a TV show with my wife last night. One that we watch Hell's Kitchen, you know. And before that, or was it after that? Before that, Hotel Nightmares or something like that, or Hotel Hell, something like that. Again, same guy, Gordon Ramsay, the chef. He's going in to try to turn these hotels around, and you know, most of them are some bozo, basically. Again, you know, I can go in and start my own company and just run it. You know, that's true for a lot of times. But if you know, this guy's background was in the military, and he was a lawyer after he got out of the military. What in the hell kind of experience do you think he has starting or running a hotel operation, the entire thing, as if he knows how it goes? You know what I mean? Normally something like that you need to go get trained on, you know, whether you're either working in the industry for a long time to get the experience, of course, or some kind of, you know, schooling, etc. So this guy, this owner, you know, of course, typical, I can do anything, I'm very hopeful we'll turn this around. He tells him, Mr. Ramsay, Colin Powell once told me, and I forget the exact phrase, but basically, you gotta keep faith and keep optimistic. Be optimistic, always, always, always be optimistic. Things will turn around, it'll work. And let me tell you something, I am optimistic. And he looked the part. So, the wife next to him, her face spoke a million words. So Chef Ramsay picked up on that. And at one point had to even pull her aside away from him and everyone else and talk to her one-on-one. What's going on? Tell me what's happening here. Because you and your husband clearly are night and day with how your view of this hotel is right now. Well, we're up to $750,000 in debt. We're getting ready to sell our house to come up with some more cash to help fund this. And I don't want to do that, but my husband, he's the, you know, head of the household, and he wants to basically take the ship off a cliff. We've had arguments about this. We've tried to discuss it. I've tried to give him my point of view. You know, doesn't matter. He's putting all of it in. He said at one point, I'll put every last penny into this thing. Basically, if it's the last thing I do, I will put every last penny in this thing before I walk away. Again, Colin Powell had told him, hope, optimism, have faith, it works, trust me. And he did that. He took $10,000 or $25,000 from one of his children who was 19 or 20 years old. I think it was 10,000. Took another $75,000 from another one of his kids. Took $250,000 or so from his parents. We're gonna hope and faith, man. We got this. This will turn around. Only to find out, end of the show. By the way, a few months later, the hotel shut down, etc. How is that working out for you? If he was a realist like his wife, reality's telling you one thing, hope, faith, and optimism, in the other hand, is absolutely delusional. When reality is punching you in the face live, every day, you're borrowing from your freaking children, your parents, it's going down the tubes, time to walk. No. Colin Powell once told me, yeah. No wonder why. No wonder why it's so easy for our military men to follow orders.